On this episode of My So-Called Podcast, we're going to go back to August 6th, 1999.
We're going to discuss Do the Collapse by Guided by Voices and The Sixth Sense from director M. Night Shyamalan. Hey, welcome to My So-Called Podcast. I'm Gary Linton.
I'm Eric Spiegel.
Hey, Eric.
Hey, Gary. How's it going?
It's going well. It's going well.
Loving that theme music.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Sometimes I get it stuck in my head.
I'm sorry.
So we're going back to August of 99 this week.
Yeah, we're going to discuss the album Do the Collapse.
The would-be mainstream debut of GBV.
Yep.
And
a little sleeper hit.
The old teeny little hit.
Yeah, a little sleeper hit from
Sleeperino.
From M. Night Shyamalan's M. Night Shyamalan, the movie The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say.
Yeah. M. Night Shyamalan.
We're going to discuss that. You and me alone.
Okay. But there's a guest.
What? I love that joke. It's so good.
Back for another episode is Lauren Nieman. Thanks for coming, Lauren.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for coming. Lauren, what did we discuss before? What do you remember?
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
What was the music?
It was Jamiroquai.
Oh, yeah.
So
you like Bruce Willis.
It turns out. I'm kind of a fan.
Yeah, you missed out on our Fifth Element.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's right. Fifth Element, Sixth Sense.
I think it's weird.
That's how we're going to do it.
Seven Samurai.
That's the next one. And then...
Eight Men Out.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
The Ninth Gate.
Ninth Gate, yeah. And then,
Derek's 10.
10 Things I Hate About You.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we still do need to do 10 Things That I Hate About You.
Yeah. All right. But this week we're going to talk about The Sixth Sense.
Oh, okay. But first we're going to talk about 1999.
Right. Yeah.
August 1999, I was going back to college for my senior year of college.
Yeah.
I lived in the old dormitories again because I was a resident assistant.
Oh, okay.
And my dormitory was specifically for the older folks, like people that had gone to community college for a couple years.
Oh, and needed hip replacements. And
they had finished most of their requirements for their bachelor's degree, but then they had a heart attack and needed a cabbage.
Right. Well, good times.
A little angioplasty.
Right.
And they're back on it. No, they'd be like 20, 21.
Oh, okay.
But it was a dry campus, so it was really weird to have to police 21-year-olds.
Yeah, that's awkward.
From drinking.
That's awkward.
One time, I walked past and this guy was just drinking a Busch Light with his girlfriend while he's watching TV. I'm like, come on, man.
You close the door
try to
at
hide
least.
He's like, what?
Right.
So I was doing that. I
Did you tell
remember
him?
reading about this movie while I was working the front desk of the dorm. And I borrowed a digital camera from the education department that weekend. The Labor Day weekend is when I went to see this movie, so like a month later, I guess. And I took some pictures on it, and it had a disc in there. Like a 3.5-inch disc.
Like a floppy.
And then I would take that out,
right.
put that in the computer lab, and then I could print them out with a color printer. That was my first experience with the digital camera.
You took pictures of the movie?
No, I just remember that Labor Day weekend we went to St. Louis, and I took some pictures with that digital camera, and we saw The Sixth Sense.
Okay.
Those are my memories from the time.
That would have been annoying. You flashing your camera while the movie's going. Ooh, this is a good scene. Click.
I think that might be a ghost. Click. Do you remember late summer 99?
You know, I have to say, I'm always impressed by your, like, specific memories that you have. It's for some reason for me. I don't remember things that way.
Yeah, I'm with Lauren.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, I know. I think I was living in San Francisco for a little bit. I was one of those older students. I took a break between high school and college, so I went back with my angioplasty.
We were on a break. Okay.
So yeah, I was doing a little bit of trying to travel and live in different places. So I don't really remember seeing the movie, but I know I saw it.
Did that have to do with some of the stuff that you were doing in San Francisco that you didn't?
Hate Ashbury.
Were
you on the Hate Ashbury? No, I was a good girl. Come on.
Yeah. Getting that San Francisco treat. That's what it's called, right? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Rice-A-Roni?
Yeah. I'll get you high, man.
I wonder how many people from the Midwest go to San Francisco and eat rice-a-roni and think they're having, like, local cuisine.
Probably about 5.
5 people?
Yep.
I don't want to meet those people.
Well, all right. Next.
So you were finishing up Webster?
Well, yeah, I actually had I mean, it was my senior year, but I had an extra semester.
And you were working, too?
Yeah, working for a living. Working for the weekend, you know?
Oh, what is that, Loverboy?
Yeah, it's Loverboy.
Yeah, it is.
Not the movie starring Patrick Dempsey, but
And Kirstie Alley, I think.
Yeah, she plays one of the older ladies that he's a Loverboy for.
Yeah, so he's a gigolo?
Yep. Everywhere he
As
goes.
opposed
Delivering pizzas.
Yeah, that's right.
As opposed to Risky Business where Tom Cruise is a pimp.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, 80s movies.
Well, yeah.
Loverboy might be like 88, 89.
Right, late 80s, but...
So you were a gigolo at the time, is that what you're saying? Gary?
Not so many words. No, going to school, hanging out. I went and saw this movie. I mean, I didn't listen to Guided by Voices.
No.
There's that. Not in 99, I wasn't listening to him.
I knew that was a band. That's what I knew about that band before this podcast. I like noticed that they were touring and they were around and it was something that people listened to.
Okay.
But I if you would have played me any number of kinds of music, I would have not been able to pick out Guided by Voices.
Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but first we want to do trivia.
If you remember, Lauren, you can help us both.
Or sabotage both.
That's
I like it. I like the way this goes.
But we actually started a new game where I'm winning finally.
Well, you were winning that last one until I decided, I'm going to get serious now.
And start asking me really hard questions.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a bunch of tennis questions.
Yeah. I got one right here. Yvonne Lindell.
Okay. Is the answer tennis?
Yeah. No.
Tennis balls?
Yeah.
U.S. Open.
All right, now I'll ask you a real question here. I'm going to go and get going with... here we go. Who told a 1999 Oscar crowd, "Now my body is in tumult because it is a colossal moment of joy"?
I'm going to guess somebody who English is not their first language.
Let me do that.
What was the year again?
1999.
That's from 90, of course.
Yeah. So 98 movie. Well, it'd be Roberto Benigni.
That is
that's
correct.
Great. Look at you.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic movie.
Yeah, I like that back in the day. And then he remade Pinocchio with him as Pinocchio.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't see
Seemed
that.
like a bad move.
It's a bad follow-up.
Well, you know the Italians. They love Pinocchio.
That's true. And the Holocaust.
Right.
Yeah.
No, they don't love it.
Oh, okay. Then I missed the point of that whole movie. I was like...
I do remember seeing that movie in the
Life
theater.
is Beautiful?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw it at like a matinee in the middle of the day, which I already I think is kind of weird.
A little weird.
Because you come out and it's still day. For some reason, I feel like it needs to be night.
Oh, yeah.
I was just
hear ya.
wrecked. Like,
Yeah.
I came out, I was emotionally spent. I just had to go home and stare at a wall.
For how long?
10 minutes, I don't know.
Oh.
I bounced back.
Very resilient 1999. Gary, what fruit helps restore a player's health in Donkey Kong 64?
Oh, I'm going to go with a banana. Oh.
Is it a coconut?
It's a watermelon.
Oh, nice.
You never played that, huh?
Maybe. I don't remember.
It's an incredibly complicated and lengthy game. You can be Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong and a girl Kong of some kind.
Yeah. Ditsy Kong.
And it's one of the ones that's, people say is just too hard. Very few people finished that game. But the thing I remember the most about it is when you turn on the menu screen, it's like a music video of all the Kongs rapping about Donkey Kong, and one of them has like headphones and a turntable and everything.
Yeah, Funky Kong.
It's like, and they're finally here to something something Kong, and you know what? And then a certain amount of it has to load before you can hit the A button and it stops. So I've heard the very beginning of that rap quite a bit. Gary's really
riveted.
I'm trying to think of what I'm going to ask for next. Okay, what popster dropped 150 pounds and 20 dress sizes after an internet live gastric bypass?
What actor?
Popster.
Pop star. So would that be, what's her name, Ricki Lake? Was that around?
Does she sing?
Oh, I thought.
Pop star means like they're a singer, I think.
Okay. Well, it's actually Popster. Popster.
Popster.
So pop culture person.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe Ricki Lake.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I feel like she was.
I mean, I already know the answer.
You do. You've already.
Yeah, exactly.
Did she get skinny?
Oh, or was it one of the Wilson, like the Wilson Phillips girl?
Carrie something?
I feel like her name would be either Wilson or Phillips.
I don't know.
No.
Ricki Lake?
Carney Wilson.
Carney Wilson.
Yeah.
Let's say Carney Wilson.
That's correct.
We pulled it out.
Hey, wow, who would have thought?
I don't know. Who would have? Hey, hit us up on Twitter if you would have thought that was the case.
And remember to subscribe.
Exactly.
What Red Sox hurler, Gary?
Okay.
It's baseball, whatever. What actor in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Thread?
Yeah, Jar Jar Binks.
While fighting... Somebody's got to do a mashup of Star Wars Episode 1,
I'm
The
sure
Phantom
somebody
Thread.
has, yeah.
That would be funny. Phantom Menace. While fighting, made lightsaber noises that had to be removed in post-production.
Lauren Dern. No.
You're thinking of the movie that ruined Star Wars forever.
I don't know. Do you think it was Liam Neeson or Ewan McGregor?
Oh. I would say it could go either way.
I'm going to go with Liam Neeson because, that's my guess.
Oh,
no. It was Ewan McGregor. You're thinking Liam Neeson is like, I have a very particular set of skills. Pew, pew.
Yeah.
He's a method actor.
I just assumed that's why he wasn't invited back for any other movie.
Well, spoiler alert, he was cut in half in that movie.
Yeah, but he could have came back as a force projection.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't have any.
I mean,
that's all right.
Maybe he still will.
Yeah,
maybe episode 9. He'll be like in the corner going pew pew.
It's me, Qui-Gon. Remember me?
And everybody's like, no,
it's okay.
Not really.
I'm here now, though.
Do you think Qui-Gon, sort of like the ghost in The Sixth Sense, whenever he's the blue ghost version, he's in half? Like he's carrying around his legs or something?
No, because Anakin wasn't all burnt up.
Well, it depends
old.
on... It depends.
And Yoda was young.
The original one, he was old.
Well, and then
he turned into Hayden Christensen.
But Obi-Wan wasn't Well, how did it was?
He was Alec Guinness.
Yeah, but he wasn't cut when Darth Vader strikes him down.
Don't you think if you were going to be your best self as a ghost, you'd be young Ewan McGregor?
Yeah, that's true.
It's definitely my best self.
Yeah, that's Lauren's best self.
Yeah.
You've heard it here.
Young Ewan McGregor, train spotting Ewan McGregor, the one right after the sex scene,
or maybe the pillow,
pillow book. The pillow book,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's a little he needs to put on a little weight and train spotting.
Yeah,
it's unhealthy.
That's true. Yeah, well, he's a heroin addict.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't eat.
I don't know if he got exactly. All right, my last question for you is what Arizona landmark was misidentified as being in Colorado on a hastily recalled U.S. stamp? Remember that in 99? Good times.
I guess the Grand Canyon?
Yeah, so they would say it was in, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, the grandest of canyons.
That's real poor quality control.
Right.
It's like the Trump administration was running that. Heyo.
They would have just sold the Grand Canyon.
Yeah,
That's true.
Gary, you want one more question?
Not really, but give it to me.
What state kicked off the U.S. Men's State Quarters program? I can't believe it goes back that far.
So it's got to be one of the 13, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
Who was Massachusetts or
the original.
Yeah. Oh no, was it Rhode Island or Delaware? I think it was one of those.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. I think I want to go with Delaware.
I would go with Delaware between those two.
Yeah, pulled it out.
Why did you know that?
Because my father has collected all those coins.
So they went with the smallest state first?
Yeah, or I think Delaware's state motto is first in the Union.
So, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yep. You should listen to my state podcast.
Yeah. Well, we do have that was some sneaky buzz marketing for Gary and my other podcast that's about stamps and coins that are about states.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a really good podcast.
Yep.
We try to keep the episodes at under 3 hours, though. We can get rambling about them states.
That's right. Yep. Good stuff.
Oh, man, that section of time between 1954 and 1960, Tennessee stamps. Those are beautiful.
Yeah,
They're works of art.
My mouth is
a little controversial,
salivating.
too.
Yeah, pretty controversial. Yeah. A lot of racism.
All right, Eric, we're going to go into the top 10 singles that were released the same week that Guided by Voices released Do the Collapse.
Right.
You're going to give those to us.
All right.
Right now.
Summer Girls by LFO. You remember that one?
Yeah.
It goes, I like girls who wear Abercrombie and Fitch.
That's right.
Something if I had one, which... And I like girls when they stop by for the summer.
Yeah, that was it.
They were talking about you in San Francisco. You're just stopping by for the summer.
That was because I was, my Ewan McGregor self.
Yeah,
my best self then.
Right. Living your best self as a man. Where My Girls At? By 702. From the front to back. Now, as you feeling that, put one hand up.
Yep.
Can you repeat that? Try to take my man. See, I don't need that. A lot of these songs I remember. There was a dance club called Deja Vu in Columbia, and on
Did you use
Saturday nights.
Tell me, every time you went in there, you used the joke. I feel like I've been here before.
Yeah, and I do the John Travolta voice. I feel like I've been here before.
Whoa, so weird.
Number 7, a little ditty. No, number 8, I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys. One of the best songs of the 90s. Number 7, All Star by Smash Mouth.
Nice.
Oh.
Number 6, Last Kiss by Pearl Jam.
Oh, excellent.
Last Kiss, I think you mean last top 10 hit.
Hey-o! Ouch, take that, Stone Gossard.
I'm not slamming them. I'm just saying it seems weird that they're sandwiched between Smash Mouth and Jennifer Lopez with "If You Had My Love" at number 5. Yeah, they don't have like top 10 singles anymore.
No,
I'm going to see them in Wrigley Field in 2 weeks. I'm excited. I like the band, but they don't have hit singles.
No, I guess
currently.
Yeah, take that, Mike McCready. I'm just gonna keep naming the band members,
and then whichever one is the drummer now.
Yeah, it's Matt Cameron.
Yeah.
From Soundgarden.
Yeah. But
Sorry to ruin your joke.
He's the joke is that there's a lot of drummers.
Right, I know.
If You Have My Love by J-Lo, I think is her first single.
Is that her big one?
Mm-hmm.
What, Jenny from the Block? Is that from Jenny from the Block?
I think Jenny from the Block was like the second or third album.
Yeah, she's not from the Block yet.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
this one went.
But she wasn't letting you know.
Right.
And I gave you all my trust.
That's right. That's right.
And call me baby. Wild Wild West, number 4. Will Smith, featuring Drew Hill and Kumail D and Stevie Wonder and Kevin Kline and Kenneth Branagh
and Salma Hayek
and Barry Levinson. Number 3, Tell Me It's Real by Casey and JoJo.
Oh, right.
I don't know that one.
I don't know that one.
Number 2, Bills, Bills, Bills by Destiny's Child, featuring a young Beyonce Knowles.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were going to go with a young Kelly Rowland.
And number 1, Genie in a Bottle by Christina Aguilera.
Ah, yes, yes.
That was a great song.
It was 1999. All right.
That was very 1999.
That was
LFO,
like her first hit,
702, Backstreet Boys, Smash Mouth, J-Lo, Will Smith, Destiny's Child, Christina Aguilera.
Well, I think that top 10 list kind of
1999.
explains what was going on with Guided by Voices, Do the Collapse.
Yeah.
So,
no,
Lauren...
I don't think so, Gary.
Lauren, so you were not familiar with Guided by Voices?
No. Actually, and not even until kind of doing research for this podcast.
Okay.
Would you say that you're still not familiar with them?
I've heard maybe 4 songs.
Now, a little birdie told me that you haven't even listened to the album.
Not all of it. I tried. I got a good 4, maybe 5 songs in.
Okay.
I will say. They're short, too. I don't know how I couldn't finish this
2 minutes long.
Right. So I'm going to give you an either or as our guest to start the conversation. So either you should have listened to all the album, or it's okay that you didn't.
I'm going to say my either or for that. I'm going to say it's okay that I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to let yourself off the hook.
Yeah, good.
I like it. No follow-up either. I'm good.
No. I don't know. It's interesting. So I would just kind of play the songs while I'd be doing other things, getting ready in the morning or, and I have a habit of just listening to Pandora and then kind of letting it skip and then, finding new artists that way. And if there's something that I just kind of don't like, I'll just kind of reach over and just skip without realizing it.
Yeah.
I just kept wanting to skip the Guided by Voices songs. I just kept, I wouldn't even be paying attention, and I just reach over to skip the song.
Right, so you live a mindless existence.
A little bit,
not
I
in
guess.
control of your body.
Little sometimes. A little distracted digitally.
No, I listened to the album 3 times, and I wish I could have skipped some of these songs many times.
So, let me go ahead and tell you, I didn't listen to Guided by Voices back in 1999, but later in the mid-2000s, I got, this book, the Best Albums Ever book, and Guided by Voices, Alien Lanes was in that book. So I went and got that album from the library and burned it onto my CD or my computer.
Early?
That's 95, Guided by Voices.
No, they started in early 80s, right?
Right.
Yep. 83.
And there's some I really enjoyed that album, but then I never really followed up any other Guided by Voices.
What was it called?
Alien Lanes.
Okay.
And what's great about that album is every song is under 2 minutes. no song is over. And it's almost like you got the chorus, then you got a verse, and then he's done.
Right.
It's like, I don't want to wait any more time. And it's kind of, the review for that was, what was great about that album is no song overstays its welcome. And you really feel that on that song, on that album. But this album is not like that at all.
Yeah.
Well, I want to bring it up.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they're known for lo-fi 4-track recordings of 2-minute songs.
Yeah.
And by they, I mostly mean
Robert
Pollard. And then sometimes with the main members of the band.
Yeah.
Who would be Mitch Mitchell, Tobin Sprout, Jim Pollard, and Kevin Fennell.
Yeah, Tobin Sprout. I don't think Jim Pollard was with the band anymore, and I don't think he really plays. He'll write some stuff and give it to his brother, but he doesn't play with the band anymore.
Well, this was supposed to be like... Well, so they got big in the early 90s on college radio stations.
Yeah, right. So
Along
I
with
think
Sonic Youth and Breeders and stuff.
So I think Alien Lanes might have been their second major label, or independent label release.
This was supposed to be their major label debut, and it was produced by Rick Ocasek.
Right?
Oh, and I think that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, because it's one of the problems.
I think so. The first song, "Teenage FBI."
That was on the Buffy the Vampire Slayer soundtrack.
Okay.
I think it's also listed in somebody had it in like a top 500 rock songs of all time list.
I was not caring for that production at all, and I could definitely hear it's Rick Ocasek.
Tell me why I do the
It's very
things
poppy. It's
that
weird.
I
Too poppy.
Yeah, there's a weird grunge undertone.
Yeah.
With pop. Yeah.
Which is, I think, why this album doesn't really work for me, because you got their lo-fi sensibility, but then, especially that...
Right. Like, that's basically that thing you do, is kind of what I hear right now. You know? It's very pop.
I was thinking this is wannabe Matthew Sweet, but not pulling it off either. Matthew Sweet can pull that off, but Guided by Voices couldn't.
So, and that's one of the ones I liked. Mm-hmm. The one I actually really liked was Hold On
Hold the Hope. That's
and
the
that
best
was from
song.
that was in Scrubs.
And that's okay. Well, that's the best song on the album.
Well, Zach Braff agrees with us.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think he was too busy learning his lines to be music producing Scrubs.
Scrubs does have some wonderful music.
It does, yeah. I have a playlist of Scrubs songs.
A lot of the songs on Scrubs were picked by him, and he also picked all the songs on the Garden State soundtrack.
Did he really?
Well, yeah, he was the director of Garden State. He wasn't...
Yeah, but he had a hand in certain things being on Scrubs as well.
Okay.
I am told. By my buddy Colin Hay.
By Zach Braff.
The lead singer of...
Men at Work.
Men at Work.
Yeah.
He had some songs on his solo career that made it onto Scrubs, and then he was kind of big afterwards, and he...
Not even, though. One of the big overkill is...
that's a Men at Work song. But he has solo career songs also on that. I
they-
saw him live, and he talked about thanking Zach Braff for a second wind in his career, so... There you go, Gary.
Well, yep. Okay, so yeah.
So are there any other good songs? I think Liquid Indian is an okay chorus.
That one I did not like either.
It has no verse. He
Yeah.
just doesn't even have a verse. It's just a bunch of nonsense and then sort of him saying Liquid Indian over and over again.
Yeah, I didn't care for that one. That one was bothering me.
I think some of them I just actively hated, like Strumpet Eye and Optical Hopscotch. Just the names bothered me.
Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes...
I wouldn't say that I hated this music so much as I was just waiting for hooks that never materialized.
Yeah, I think that's where some of their earlier stuff, I Am a Scientist. Are you familiar with that one? That was kind of a big hit on
I tried to listen
radio.
to some of the ones that are supposed to be the well-known GBV songs, and they didn't.
Here's I Am a Scientist. Okay, 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Well, that's just a lie. He's not a scientist.
Yeah.
He's just a big liar.
Well, so when you're writing a song, you can write it from other people's perspectives.
Oh. like a scientist.
I did like that though.
Yeah, that's some of their earlier lo-fi stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then their very best song that I think is the best, and it's been on several mixtapes that I've made, is A Salty Salute.
I like this already.
This is, yeah. And then he goes, disarm the settler. I don't know what he actually says, but it's great. And this song
sounds,
is
Black
only a minute 20.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Diss on the sexless?
Disarm. It's definitely disarm.
Disarm
something.
the sexless?
Yeah.
They're already sexless. You're going to take their arms?
So, I mean, that's, yeah. And that's some of the
So
good
yeah, I
Guided
mean,
by
I think
Voices.
it's interesting. So you know, Lauren really wanted to do The Sixth Sense. The way it came about was we were going to see U2, and The Sixth Sense was playing at a bar, beforehand. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's a great movie. I haven't seen that in a long time. And you're like, I want to do that for the podcast. And I was like,
spoiler alert for the second half. It is a great movie.
It is a great movie. But but I just looked at albums that came out, and I knew Guided by Voices was a thing.
Yeah.
So I picked this album just at random.
Yeah, but
it turns out to be the worst album to pick.
Not a good Guided by Voices.
It's like, I've never heard any U2. Let's listen to pop.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. I've never heard any Led Zeppelin. Let's listen to Coda. Yeah, that's for all you Led Zeppelin heads out there.
I've never listened to any Fleetwood Mac. Let's listen to Tusk.
Or, I've never listened to any Pink Floyd. Let's listen to A Momentary Lapse of Reason.
Or The Division Bell.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Let's keep doing this.
No.
I've never listened to any Rolling Stones. Let's listen to Bridges to Babylon.
Oh, I've never listened to any Beatles. Let's listen to Meet the Beatles.
No, they're all good.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I've ruined it.
No, the Beatles is not the one to do.
No.
Maybe the Magical Mystery Tour.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
But that still has Your Mother Should Know and I'm the Walrus on there.
Blue Jay Way.
It's got Penny Lane.
Strawberry Fields Forever.
Yeah, all the John songs are good.
Yeah.
Suck it, Paul McCartney.
I ruined that bit. But, yeah, this is not the Guided by Voices album.
It's the worst one, it turns out, to get it. The fans don't like it.
Yeah.
It went over like a Led Zeppelin.
Nice.
It wasn't a hit. It did produce one of their biggest hits, Hold On Hope.
Mm-hmm. Which that's, like I said, that's the best song on there.
Except for I don't like it when he goes that part of it where he does, and as the cowboy. I wish that wasn't in the song.
Sure.
The cowboy.
I'll still, yeah, I don't know.
I like that part. Just wish it didn't do that.
Yeah. So, Lauren, don't listen to any more Do the
No.
Collapse. You can. It's fine that you didn't listen to all of it.
Gary will make you a playlist of stuff to listen to.
Yeah.
All right. What's behind the name? Where does the name come from?
Boo.
Because I feel like that also is somewhat misleading. Like, Guided by Voices, I'm expecting...
You would think it's like 4-part harmony.
Right.
Yeah.
Like some
or
sort
something.
of...
I have to give. I think I have to tell one of our previous guests story. Paul Wegman would always talk about how
Friend
he
of the
went to
show?
see. Friend of the show. He went to go see Guided by Voices, and he said he was looking forward to it until he got up and he was like, "Oh, they're old." I was like, "Come on, Paul."
What year was this?
It probably was around 99. So,
Well, they are sort of our parents' age.
yeah, they were older than.
I mean,
Because they've been around from the
they were
80s.
Well, they were in
formed-
bars,
Yeah.
playing bars in the 83, so...
Yeah, he's known for fun shows, supposedly. He's known for playing really long shows where they'll play tons of songs like that you know and don't know, like new ones, and throw in covers of random songs.
Oh, yeah.
And drinking heavily the entire show. Those
Oh,
are
sure.
sort of hallmark of the Robert Pollard. See, here's the one picture on Wikipedia,
Yeah.
which is him drinking.
There he is. And it says, yeah.
But that's him in the 80s, I'm sure. He's got white hair now.
No, yeah, he did. I think he had white hair in the 90s.
Still
Oh,
the
yeah.
same beer,
Yeah.
though. He's still drinking that one beer.
He's only, that's how he's keeps slim. He's just nursing that one beer from 1983.
It's pretty warm.
Really gross.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have a whole lot to say about this except for that it's not that good, huh?
No, yeah.
And that we should listen to other Guided by Voices albums.
Definitely. That would
And
be
that
my
Lauren doesn't
recommendation.
even have to listen to this one.
No, not even.
I
I'm
just
off
wanted
the
to
hook.
sum
Yeah.
that up. All right, well, we're going to come back in the second half of the show and have more to say, I hope, about The Sixth Sense.
And Guided by
was
Voices.
I supposed to watch that?
Oh, no!
You can watch the trailer on the break.
Okay,
and
okay.
Tell us what
I'll
you think
catch
about
up.
that.
All right, we'll be right back. Oh, wait, we didn't even rate this album, Eric.
That's how little we thought of it.
Yeah, exactly.
4 stars is well-deserved classic status, which nobody would say about this, even at the time. 3
Okay, no, I'm not going to give it 4
No, I'm just
stars.
saying that nobody considers it like a modern classic, I don't think.
okay.
3 stars would be like, turns out it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
What 2 stars is I keep wanting to skip the songs.
Yeah.
And 1 star is I only listened to the first 4 tracks.
What are you going to give it, Lauren?
I see I'm going to waffle in between the 1 and 2 because I did both of those things.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 2 stars. So that's what I'm giving it.
I'll give it 1.5 as well.
Okay.
No, thank you.
All right. Well, now we're going to be back to talk. We're going to take a break.
Oh, wait. We didn't talk about... I'm just kidding.
Okay. Ugh. Amateur hour. We'll be right back to talk about The Sixth Sense. M. Night Shyamalan's.
Shyamalan.
Do. All right. Bye.
Shyamalan.
Yes.
You know the accident up there?
Yeah.
Someone got hurt.
They did?
A lady. She broke her neck.
Oh my god, but you can see her?
Yes.
Where is she?
Standing next to my window.
Baby, where are you? Shaking. Cole, what's wrong?
Did you ever talk to your mom about how things are?
I don't tell her things.
Why not?
Because she doesn't look at me like everybody else, and I don't want her to. I don't want her to know.
You know what?
I see dead people walking around like regular people.
I don't see anything. Are you sure that...
Hey, welcome back to my so-called podcast. That is a spoiler-tastic trailer for...
Yeah,
Yes,
it really
it
is.
Sixth Sense.
It especially like the opening scene
Yeah,
of the
that's
trailer.
like one of the
is
last scenes of the movie.
one. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, trailers. Don't watch them.
Right.
We're back. We're back talking about The Sixth Sense. Ooh.
Yeah, right.
It's not even Shocktober.
It's August.
It's Shawgust. That sounds like some sort of a instrumentalist in like a Scottish band or something.
Oh, Scottish band. I thought you when you first said it, I was thinking like ska band.
And then we've got William on the Shawgust.
I think it'd be a higher pitched instrument.
Gary, what else was out at the movie?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. Here are the top 10 movies that were playing at your Cineplex the same weekend, August 6th, 1999, when The Sixth Sense was released.
That was a mouthful.
Yes, number 10, Bye Bye Miss American Pie. American Pie.
Oh, I'm so confused.
Right. Number 9, The Iron Giant. Number 8, The Haunting. Ooh, I guess August seems a little early to begin all these Halloween movies out, but
Yeah.
I guess.
The Haunting, that was like Jan de Bont's remake of The Haunting.
Yeah, with
Owen
Liv
Wilson.
Liv Tyler.
You want to get all the people coming out and get the buzz for people to come see the movies, and so then their friends go
Yeah, but
see it in
that's
October.
8 weeks? I mean, I guess
It was a different time.
Yeah, I guess.
I think another thing is the programming in August is really technically the Hollywood studios just dumping stuff.
Yeah.
That they don't have any confidence in. So I think The Haunting might have been out at this time because... Well, how long had it been out?
Well, yeah, let's see. This was week 3 for The Haunting.
So that came out in July. They had high hopes for that
Yeah,
one.
that was
Spent a lot of money on it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it made...
No, that's the others.
Oh, you're right.
Made 77 million, so...
It was not good.
The
That
Haunting? No.
I'd be happy to watch it for the podcast, but I recall it being a real stinkeroonie.
Yeah, it was. I remember that. Number 7, Inspector Gadget. I remember you recalling it being a real stinkeroonie.
That's the sequel to that had a different Inspector Gadget.
Oh, there you go.
Wasn't Andy Dick I think, Inspector Gadget?
I don't know. I think it might have been that Rufus...
Oh,
Rupert... Rupert, one of those British guys.
Maybe it was Rupert
Bean.
Everett, but I also think it might have been French Stewart. Might have been. Wasn't he in it?
I think maybe there are multiple Inspector. It's sort of like Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Or James Bond, maybe, is a better one.
Except for not popular.
Right.
Or suave.
Maybe that's what they were going for, though. Inspector Gadget is spy, James Bond is spy.
I think they were going for cheaper actors with each successive movie.
Maybe that's it. Number 6, Mystery Men. A little too early to jump on the superhero bandwagon. Mystery Men was.
Yeah, it was also not good, and it was supposed to be a funny movie, but it didn't have jokes.
Yeah, there weren't any. I mean, there were like 1 or 2 laughs with William H. Macy
Yeah,
as the shoveler.
that movie's funnier in theory,
Right.
than it is
Yeah.
in like watching. I do like it when Ben Stiller says, "I don't need a weather vane to tell me which way the sun shines."
See, there are a couple laughs in there. Number 5, Deep Blue Sea.
Deepest,
Sharp.
bluest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
Deepest,
LL Cool
bluest.
J's. I mean, that
My love is
scene
like a shark fin. Deepest, bluest. My love is like a shark fin.
What is that? I still don't know what your love is like, LL. I mean, I know you're using an analogy or a metaphor to tell me what your love is like,
I
but...
don't know what that means. Like, you see his love,
You
but
see it
there's like a
coming?
whole
Oh,
big,
maybe
there's like a
that's
whole
it.
monster underneath.
That's good.
Only
Oh,
when
that
it's
is what it
danger.
is. Gross.
Oh.
Number 4 is the Thomas Crown Affair remake. So what, we had the Haunting remake, Inspector Gadget's kind of a remake, Thomas Crown Affair.
The Thomas Crown Affair is a delightful movie.
Yeah, it is. Rene Russo.
Dennis Leary and Pierce
Brosnan.
Brosnan. Speaking of James Bond,
Yeah. Who was speaking, James Bond?
you were earlier.
Oh, okay. Let's go to the tape. James Bond?
See?
Yes, right.
Yeah, that Thomas Crown Affair, I feel like it holds up every time I watch it. I have it on DVD.
I even went and watched the original after watching the remake. 'Cause I was like, this is such a good movie. I want to see the first one.
And
Hey, it's good. Thomas, what's his name? Steve McQueen.
Steve McQueen,
Ollie
Faye
McGraw.
Dunaway is
Oh,
the...
no, you're right. It is Faye McQueen.
Yeah, because then Faye Dunaway is the therapist
That's
in
right.
this one.
That's right.
I just like it. It's not an action movie. It's not serious.
Right.
It's sort of a caper. And there's not too many capers.
Oh, right. I like having some capers on my pizza.
I like it with some lox and cream cheese on my bagel.
Yeah, right.
Where
Number
the
3.
mutton is nice and lean.
That's right. Number 3, Runaway Bride. With Julia Roberts.
Gary Marshall.
Yeah, that's right. Hector Alonso's.
Well, Hector Alonso's Runaway Bride.
That's right.
I told Alicia about Runaway Bride, friend of the show, Alicia Spiegel, about Runaway Bride recently, and she was like, "What?" And I was like, "It's got Richard Gere and Julia Roberts in it." And she's like, "What?" Like, the sort of reuniting from the Pretty Woman thing, but it was in the later 90s, and she's like, I don't think that's a movie. It's like,
right.
no, it is.
Actually, I will tell you a story. Well, a quick one. I'll make it fast.
Yeah, no, that's
when
fine.
I was in San Francisco, I was...
Take your time.
Yeah.
We have all the
Be
time
our
in the world.
guest. Be our guest.
Right before I had moved
Since
to
you
San...
didn't listen to the album,
Yeah.
we have a bunch of time
We
to
do. We
kill.
got some-
Just vamp on this Runaway Bride thing.
I had a friend who was doing... she was a movie... She was a movie critic at the time, and so she would get free tickets to go see movies a lot at any of the theaters.
She's no longer a movie critic?
No, and I don't even remember. I don't even know there was like a legit thing that she was doing
okay.
at the time. Somehow it
Ooh,
worked,
scam.
but she had tickets to go
She's
see
a drug
Runaway.
dealer.
She had tickets for us to go see Runaway Bride, and so I went to the theater to see it with her. And that was fine. Then in San Francisco, I'm like auditioning for an apartment, right? Like you have to go and like this cattle call basically where the people, are you cool enough to live here type of a situation,
man,
right?
I would move back to the Midwest.
You know what? Now in
immediately.
San Francisco, they don't ask if you're cool enough, just if you have enough of that Google money.
Yeah.
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 Well, one of the questions...
Do you have to
that-
have Google money? Or can you have regular money?
No, you have to have Google money or Facebook money. You gotta have a lot
Is that
of money.
like Google Pay?
No. They just pay a lot of Google.
But one of the questions that they asked was, have you seen Runaway Bride?
Oh,
I'm
and
like,
you're like, I don't know how to answer.
actually, I have. I didn't enjoy it, and I didn't pay for it.
Right.
But I was knocked
Okay.
out. I definitely was not cool enough for that
Oh,
apartment.
jeez. Yeah,
Well,
that's-
Alicia may have been cool enough for that apartment.
right, she doesn't even believe that she'd be like, I don't believe that
It's
exists.
not a movie.
You are making stuff up on this application.
Well, if people don't like you, Lauren, then you don't want to be their friends anyway.
I've come to terms with it. Yes. I bounced back 10 minutes. I stared at a wall.
Oh, good.
You went straight home from that apartment cattle call, watched Life is Beautiful, then stared at a wall, and then you were good to
I was
go.
good. I was fine.
That's how you reset your whole
It's my recovery
inner clock.
routine.
And once you're done staring at the wall, you look like Ewan McGregor again.
Speaking of staring at a wall, the number 2 movie that week was The Blair Witch Project.
Oh, Mike! Mike staring at a wall!
No, it wasn't Mike. It was the... Wait, was it Mike?
Yeah, it was Mike.
Okay. yeah.
Mike!
That's right.
Mike!
She was, yeah.
That movie. Yeah, that
Again,
was
another horror movie.
another lost footage, another found footage.
Yeah.
That was July that came out.
Yeah, 4 weeks. That was the 4th week it was out. Number 2 still, after 4 weeks. Yeah, that was a big hit. $80 million.
Yeah, I remember I was telling you about I was in the education department computer lab a lot.
Oh, I don't.
I remember being on the Blair Witch Project website in like May, and it was basically about the Blair Witch and how these filmmakers had gone missing.
Right,
and
right,
they
right.
played it up like it was
They did
totally
beautifully.
real.
Yeah,
Yes.
did you see that? Yeah, it was like a Bravo thing. I saw it on
Oh,
Bravo.
behind the Blair Witch.
Yeah.
I did not see the Bravo thing. I just did the website, and they had like
Didn't we-
art, like
did we do the
newspaper
Blair Witch Project?
articles.
I think we talked about it.
Yeah,
You can
we
listen
did.
to our podcast.
Yeah, just listen to our podcast.
Exactly.
I know that you don't, so sometimes
No,
I have to repeat some of the
exactly.
stuff I've said on previous podcasts.
It's just so boring.
Not as boring as that Guided by Voices.
No, that's true. Number 1 that week was The Sixth Sense, making $26 million in its opening week.
So, Lauren, this movie was directed by M. Night Shyamalan, who'd only directed... This was his first movie, or...
No, it was a second.
Yeah.
It wasn't. That's an either or.
I'm going to say it was not his first movie.
That's right. It was not. He directed a movie like in the 90s, like before that.
This is
the
90s. What are you doing, man?
he
This
directed
is why
this
I
one.
don't listen to the podcast.
Wide Awake, where Rosie O'Donnell was a nun. And
That's like
there was
none
also
of
a-
your business.
and Joseph Cross was a little kid. So this was his first movie.
Oh, that movie is ringing a bell.
So 98 came out the year before.
Right before.
Yeah.
And then they're like, here, do a Bruce Willis movie next. It's odd. It
Well,
must have been on the
no.
strength of the screenplay, right?
Yeah, it was the screenplay, and apparently Bruce Willis. Do you have something you want to say?
No.
No. Bruce Willis owed Disney owed Disney because apparently he was supposed to be making another movie. They paid him, but he didn't. He backed out of that movie, and so
The Broadway Brawler.
Yeah, and
He
so,
had a fight with the director and got the director fired, and then that caused the whole production to collapse.
Sure.
So within his contract for that movie, he owed them now 2 movies for having screwed up that movie.
Oh,
or
wow.
something.
So yeah, I mean to say that here's a Bruce Willis movie, but Disney was kind of punishing Bruce Willis, I guess, kind of being in this. But I mean,
Yeah. Well, that worked out.
Worked
for
out
him.
well.
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, this and the Blair Witch Project coming out in the same year is pretty interesting because nobody expected either of those movies to do anything, and they were both huge.
Yeah, they were, right.
They had a little thing on the trivia on IMDb about it saying that Entertainment Weekly had their movies that are coming out this summer, and they listed 134 movies, and they didn't even mention this one. It
wow.
was so off the radar.
Oh, right.
But it wasn't until people started watching it and saying oh, you have to go see this, but I'm not going to tell you why.
People
kind of
were
a
really
thing.
good about not revealing the twist. I feel like
Yeah.
that people were really good about not spoiling it.
So you saw it in the theater.
I think so.
Yeah, and
I know I saw it unspoiled.
Okay. That's
Yep.
nice.
I saw it unspoiled as
Not
well.
me. I was in vintage vinyl, and I overheard some people talking about it.
I can't believe that Darth Vader is
Exactly. Oh, thanks a lot, ruining it for us.
Rosebud is a sled.
Exactly. She's a he.
Is that Rocky Horror?
No, crying game.
The thing is watching it again. I mean, the movie has become super iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
Right.
in the interim. I mean, it's almost 20 years old.
I mean,
now.
you got AFI's, greatest lines is "I see dead people."
Right.
That one's in there.
Well, and how many pop culture references to just that scene, where people kind of they curl up in the blanket and there's so many
I think
references
it's even
to it.
in one of the scary movies where one of the
Right.
weigh-ins is doing
Exactly.
yeah.
But yeah, the not just the lines, but those iconic images. Yeah, where he has the pink blanket, and then there's the one where he's got the flashlight underneath the red tent, and you can see his breath.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's an image you see a lot, and but the thing is watching it fresh, which I did show it to my kids, which I maybe regret, not my 6-year-old.
Okay. He'll
But
watch it tomorrow.
watching it fresh, it takes a long time to kind of figure out what this movie's even going to be about. It looks like it's going to be about Bruce Willis and his wife, and then
I
it
think
looks
it
like
does,
it's going to be a therapy movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, the kid has a secret. Maybe he's being abused.
Right.
You don't really know.
Yeah.
It takes...
It's so simple.
Maybe an hour before he says,
Well,
I see
right.
dead people.
It is, yeah. And it is the first half of the movie. It is almost at the midpoint. I see dead people. That's the midpoint of the movie.
And you don't see what Cole sees up until that
Right.
point.
And then after that, it's like the next scene after that is the lady in the. We see our first ghosts in the apartment after that. And,
Yeah, the lady who and it's when he's washing his hands and she walks in front between the camera and
Right.
him.
Yeah. And so, So, this movie is good. It's a very good movie. I'm going to go and get that out of the way.
It is it's a brilliant screenplay.
Yeah.
And you have to think that he was writing this screenplay oh boy!
Yeah, right. He's like, definitely looking at his
I'm
career
sure
afterward.
he was proud of himself.
He's very proud of himself.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great little
He
screenplay.
does it. So we start out. We see Olivia Williams, Miss Cross. She's
Who
getting
was at the time a big crush of me and my friends.
right.
She'd
You
be
were
at the
hoping to
top
get
of
some
the.
hand jobs in the back.
That's a different movie.
Oh, okay. Same year though, right? 99,
98, maybe.
Yeah.
No, but Olivia Williams was like top of the pops.
Top
cherry popping daddies.
Exactly. So she's getting wine in the cellar. Gets cold.
Whoa,
Right,
you're
right,
really,
right.
We're getting granular.
Yeah,
here.
we are.
Exactly.
She turns around. There's some dust on the floor.
I want to make sure everybody knows what this movie's about.
And then right.
The camera pans in to a medium shot.
You don't know what the movie's about. She comes up. She talks to Bruce Willis about his reward, or not
Right,
award.
the award, yes.
Award.
She's planning on giving him his reward.
Heyo.
Hi-yo!
And they do a good job of setting. I mean, so that's even good exposition instead of clunky exposition about like who he is,
Right.
what his whole deal is about. Like, oh, look at this award you got.
Everything has its place in the movie, and almost everything pays off. Like, there's a reason for everything to be in the
It's
movie.
true.
Right.
And there's absolutely nothing there's no fat that shouldn't be
Except
there.
for that cough syrup kid. I could do without him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that
Tommy.
one scene. Yeah, and I also have an issue with Cole going to see that. So yeah, he says I see dead people, and then he has to go to the bathroom in the next scene, and you get that jump scare, and I don't think he would go see her in the kitchen.
Well, but
I think he thought it was his mom.
But he already knows. Remember, because
I think he was hoping that it was his mom.
the cabinets are all open.
Right,
Tony Collette leaves.
Right.
And the
early
cabinets
on.
are all open, so he knows that ghost is
That's a
there.
good point.
And so he wouldn't. I think he'd be like, "I'm going back to bed."
Right.
I don't. Even if it is mom,
Getting in
don't
bed.
need to see
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'll say, Gary, that is a dead-on Haley Joel Osment.
Thanks.
He's like, I'm going back to bed.
I see dead people.
I see dead people. They're all there. They're walking around like live people.
I don't know they're dead.
So, Bruce Willis gets shot.
Yes.
Right.
He shows up to.
But the cuts. It cuts. Yeah, you
cuts.
don't.
The next fall.
Both my children are like, "Is he dead? Is he dead? Is he?
Watch
Did
the
he survive?
movie."
Did he
Exactly.
survive?"
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, "Well, he's there.
Right. Not trying to ruin
This
it.
is
Right.
later."
It's the following
next
fall.
fall.
The next fall. Yeah.
Yes.
But then he's showing up to be Cole's therapist. He has a notebook full of stuff
He's
about him.
outside.
Some
right.
notes in his notebook.
Uncertain where he got that notebook.
Yeah, right. That's never explained. So
And slowly builds a relationship with him where he knows he has a secret. He has a differential diagnosis of like depression, trauma, abuse, something.
But watching that scene again, knowing the twist, it's the way the kid he sees him and he's running because he knows
this, yeah,
You know,
this-
it's
he's a
amazing.
ghost. A ghost is following me.
Right.
Yeah, watching it on the second viewing after knowing that it makes this all the better.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
So I think it works one way the first time.
Completely.
And a different way every other time after you watch it.
Right.
But every other time, if you watch it after the first time, it's good still.
Yes,
Yes,
I agree.
yeah, exactly.
I agree.
The movie became
It's very
famous
elegant.
from the twist. That is what made the movie. Oh, you got to go see the twist.
Right.
But it's a good movie.
Uh-huh.
Even after
Well, and I think people
Yes.
also
Yeah.
did
It's
go
well
back to
crafted.
watch it
Yeah.
again.
to see.
So they had to spend their
How
money
did they
again
do?
and be like, how did they do that?
Right.
The thing
Even
that,
though at the end, when Bruce Willis realizes it, we get plenty of shots to be like, "Hey, remember? Huh?
Yes.
Huh? Do you remember?"
I don't think they overdo it.
No,
though.
they don't. But,
It's the wedding ring that really tells you.
right.
But the scene this time that I thought was really excellent was when Bruce Willis and Toni Collette are sitting
Yes.
in the room, and she goes into the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then he
doesn't
doesn't want to talk because
Yeah.
he doesn't
Yep.
want his mom to hear that he's talking to to nobody.
Oh, I didn't
Right.
see. I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
I
So,
got
yeah.
That
He
was-
shakes his head yes, shakes his head no. They play the game of stepping forward, stepping back.
Right.
And then he says something under his breath and leaves the room.
Right,
But it all works like he's a timid kid.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. But he doesn't want to talk to a ghost. And then and I
The
think that-
layers.
Yeah.
right, and that happens in the. Does that happen in the room where he finally does like, well, you're nice, and I think you can help me, but
I think you're nice, but I don't think you can help.
oh, that's right, and that even means more. He's like, okay, you're a nice ghost, but you're a ghost.
Right.
You can't help me,
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's really good. It's a good movie. It was a great performance from Haley Joel Osment. You know,
Really a different side of Bruce Willis that we hadn't really seen up to this point.
He kind of he's got a little bit of his moonlighting, like kind of that, he's being very charismatic
Ramshackle.
and
Well,
he's
it's
kind of,
That's what makes it work in Die Hard too. Yeah, you know he can pull this off.
yeah.
Right, but I mean, he had tried to do sort of Last Boy Scout, Fifth Element, Die Hard 3.
Pulp
He hadn't
Fiction.
done. Pulp Fiction was a sort of a nice side thing for him to do because it was. It wasn't like him starring in the action movie, but this is like there's no guns, there's no.
Well, there is a
profanity.
gun. Remember, Donnie Wahlberg shoots
Oh.
him with the gun.
Yeah,
He dies at the beginning. Do
Oh
you
my
remember
gosh,
that?
that's Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah, yeah.
he lost 43 pounds.
Wow,
for
I even
that.
saw
Right.
his name this time around, and I still didn't catch that.
Yeah, and if you had just lost like 40, I would have been like, pfft. But he lost that 43rd pound.
Wow.
If he'd have lost like 45 pounds, he might have got an Oscar nom.
That's true. Haley
Wow.
Joel Osment and Toni Collette got Oscar noms.
Yeah, although Haley Joel Osment's nominated for Best Supporting Actor in a movie he starred in.
Right.
Well, and that's where, and I guess I'll bring it back to it. That does a really good job, the movie. So we meet Bruce Willis, which we have to meet him at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then we see him, but then he leaves. He leaves the movie we got a bunch of scenes of Haley Joel Osment with Toni Collette in the kitchen, and then we got Haley Joel Osment at school. So it's kind of, he has to hand the movie off to Haley Joel Osment for a little bit, and then
Right.
he comes back. And so it just really works, though. You never, like most movies, you're like, well, who's the protagonist? And it's kind of both of them, and it works.
You
really
want to know because you're seeing it through Bruce Willis's eyes. Malcolm, what's it? Malcolm Crowe.
Crow. Yeah.
You seeing it through Dr. Crow's eyes of like wanting to know what's going on for this kid.
Yeah.
And
I guess
Shyamalan's like a real Spielberg aficionado, and so there's a lot of elegant shots and things. You can tell he really wants to set certain things up. And the scene where she leaves and comes back in, and all the drawers are open, and all the cabinets. That's a real Close Encounters moment.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like
Yeah, and it's a good scene. That one works. The other scene that I also don't really know, like, why is he yelling, stuttering Stanley?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah,
that's the only other scene where it's like, that one doesn't. There's no payoff on that. I mean, there's no payoff.
The payoff for me on that was, the teacher eventually, cracks and you're a freak.
Yeah,
So it just
yeah.
shows that everybody was, he felt like everybody saw him as that.
Right.
So he, I guess, yeah. Did some ghost tell him
Yeah,
that he
it
used to
was-
stutter?
Right. It must
Yes.
have. Yeah.
Yeah. I bet that was a cut scene. Because
Maybe.
that must have been explained at some point.
Yeah, that's the only part where it's got those. So there are the two scenes where it's like, I could have used a little more on.
I could have used a touch more helping the OC girl, Misha
Yeah,
Barton,
Misha Barton.
underneath the bed and being the star of the play. Like, it seemed like
Oh,
everything
yeah,
worked
that-
out for him
yep.
super fast.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think the reason that it did is because then we had to refocus on Bruce Willis.
Right.
But then you get the best scene in the movie, I think, which is the
Toni Collette.
his
Yeah,
mom.
no, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Car
yeah.
scene.
Waterworks.
Yes.
Just turn on the tears.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, and how many horror movies make you cry twice? This movie made me cry in that scene and in the scene where he's talking to his wife, basically saying goodbye at the end of the movie.
Well,
Like,
and you were kind of already because of the earlier scene, the better scene.
Right.
Right.
But I'm just saying I cried twice from 2 different scenes in a horror movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Toni Collette isn't in like really any of the super scary or horrific scenes, and so she said she didn't really get that it was a horror movie till she watched it.
Oh, wow.
Like she didn't know there were jump scares or anything. She just thought it was this story about a psychologist and a mother and, you know, all this stuff. Like she thought it was a drama about this, which it is.
Yeah.
Like it would work without the scares.
Yeah. Yep.
I think. But it's a real weird movie. I don't think there's too many tearjerker horrors.
No.
That's it.
No.
With the twist. The thing is the twist works really well, but I don't know if we already said this. I think the movie would work without the twist.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they could have done like the mashed potato, or they could have done
the monster mash.
the monkey. So, I mean, why is everybody doing the twist? The movie would have worked better without it.
But the thing is he thought that he needed the twist, like that was his thing. But I think he's got a lot of other things going for him in this movie. He's got the the relationship between Cole and his mom is excellently drawn. She's a really good character. I love how he's so nervous that she's thinking something bad about him, that she's gonna be not on his side.
Right.
And the scene with the pendant where she's trying to get him to say that he moved it and he doesn't. Like, that's really tense and really good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say in the scene, the close encounter scene where she comes back in and all the stuff's open, the handprint on the table that she sees after he leaves is really good. There's just a lot of good filmmaking touches,
Right? Yeah.
For a young new director.
Yeah. Exactly.
But the twist is definitely what people, I mean, it caught everybody off guard. Because I think you're kind of set along this path of that's what this movie is.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it just blindsided everybody.
Well, because I think it really works for that car scene to be right before it, because you feel like you've had your climax and now the movie's going to end, you know?
Right.
It could have ended with him sort of having a nice conversation and hugging his wife, you know?
Right. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
Like, that's what you're kind of set up for.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think so you even got that whole scene. I mean, it didn't make me tear up, but when Haley Joel Osment says, well, it's time for us to say we're not going to see each other.
That's
Right.
really sweet.
Yeah, you know.
No, see, I kind of teared up at that.
Yeah,
part,
that's
too.
the one more so than when he
Where
says
they're like,
about his
let's
wife.
pretend that we're going to see each other
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. I think Bruce Willis is really excellent in this movie. The I See Dead People scene is really, really good on both of their accounts of how you can see he's thinking about how to respond and he doesn't want to make him feel bad.
And
But
they said,
he's
one of
really worried about him.
Producers said that he maybe gave that away too much because M. Night Shyamalan stayed on Bruce Willis a little too long.
Right. Oh, they're literally, I mean, they're showing him when he's like, I see dead people and they don't know they're dead.
Exactly. Hint, hint.
Right.
You.
The thing, at the time, you're hearing it for the first time.
Right.
And he's hearing it for the first time. So you do need to see his
Him respond.
reaction.
You're
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Because he's his doctor. So he's like, he's crazy.
Yeah.
And like, how can I help this crazy kid? Like, this is much worse than I thought it was.
Right.
You know? And you as the viewer don't at that point know whether he's crazy or he sees dead people
Yeah,
either.
because because the scene before that is he follows the balloon up into the
the red balloon.
Yeah.
the
Exactly.
baby's black balloon. No, red balloon. Up into the attic, and the boys push him. And so on the soundtrack, we do hear something coming from
We
that
hear
room.
something.
Yeah.
So, but I get that works because it's like, I mean, is it in Cole's head or not?
Right.
We don't know. We don't see anybody in there, and
Nobody else responds to it.
Right.
Right.
Right, and then he's just terrified to be in there alone.
Sure,
So anybody would be.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that could be going on, and you don't necessarily. I mean, like, I knew it was a scary movie. I don't know if I knew the "I See Dead People" line yet. The thing is, that trailer really blows it. I mean, I guess it's a hard to market movie.
That's true. Yeah.
because like I mean it is a scary movie, but it doesn't become a scary movie until
you don't halfway
later in the
through.
movie.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It is really good.
The thing I also love in that scene where he's saying he sees dead people. I mean, he's totally playing with the, M. Night Shyamalan is totally playing with the audience. He's saying, this is exactly what I'm going to do. When he's telling the bedtime story, and he's like, you don't tell a lot of bedtime stories. You got to throw in a twist.
Yeah,
that's
true.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's literally telling the audience, this is what I'm about to do.
Right. Yeah, like they
That's
run out of
good.
gas.
Yeah, well, you know who ran out of gas? M. Night Shyamalan.
Hey, that's right. He followed this up with Unbreakable,
Which I like.
Yeah, a lot of people like it. I enjoyed that too.
It's no Sixth Sense,
but
it's enjoyable.
Unbreakable was another movie that it's kind of like he may have had Sixth Sense and Unbreakable as like ideas before he even wrote the Sixth Sense. You come up with ideas, and then you're like...
long gestating
Yeah,
ideas.
exactly. Unbreakable was probably one he's had for a while. But then after that, what was that? Was Signs after Unbreakable?
Signs, which I think is a really good movie. Having watched it, I think the last time I watched that was about 10 years ago, so it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But having rewatched The Sixth Sense, I know for a fact that Signs does not hold up as well as The Sixth Sense, but it is a good, tense, scary movie where and it's got an emotional core to it too.
Right, yeah. I mean, there's just... Lauren, you haven't seen Signs?
No, I haven't.
You can borrow the DVD.
You should check it out. I mean... M. Night Shyamalan's a good director. Mm-hmm. He's kind of a bad writer, though.
I think he's
maybe doesn't give...
the thing is, I don't think he's a bad writer.
No, I can't.
I think
he did the Sixth Sense. He can't be a bad writer, but he did The Happening.
Right. So what I think happened with Signs, for example, is that nobody would tell him, maybe we shouldn't have that in there, or maybe we should polish this a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, he was
still in
pretty
complete
high.
control of everything at that point, and then what was The Village next, which is I'd like to revisit The Village because I remember thinking it was fine, but I had low expectations.
Right.
But The Happening I've never watched because I've heard it's so terrible.
Right.
And that pretty much torpedoed his career.
Yeah. Well, The Lady in the Water was also
that
panned.
too. I saw that at the drive-in.
And then...
did you just keep trying to go back to the same well? Is that the issue?
Well, he did kind of always try to have twists. It seemed to be kind of... Because, well, we don't want to just spoil everything. But it always seemed to be like the third act, he always had to have some big reveal.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, you don't need that.
Right.
But, I mean, Unbreakable has kind of a big reveal at the end, but not really. That doesn't...
I mean, no, it kind of is. It's because Samuel L. Jackson... Have you seen Unbreakable?
I don't know that I've seen it
Okay, we'll table that discussion.
Yeah.
I will say, though, that he snuck it under the radar a little bit recently because he had a succession of sort of things that he was doing that was sort of well respected, but were really low budgets things. And then he made the Split movie, which from the trailer was a movie about James McAvoy who had multiple personalities who kidnapped girls and locked them in a basement.
And it's not like he's ever gotten... he has good acting because James McAvoy's a good actor. And even in The Village, Bryce Dallas Howard...
That was her first big movie.
Yes. And I mean,
William
Paul
Hurt.
Giamatti in The Lady in the Water.
Yeah.
I mean...
I don't think that was good for his career.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, he was coming off of American Splendor.
American Splendor.
Yeah.
But anyway, Split ended up being, spoiler alert, a little bit different than it seemed. It is a movie about James McAvoy with multiple personalities locking girls in the basement, and it plays really well as a thriller.
It's not like what's that hotel Identity?
No, it's not like that. They're not actually in James McAvoy's head.
Oh, okay. Woo, that's good. Because Identity is almost like a cheap M. Night Shyamalan knockoff. It was almost kind of like somebody trying to be like M. Night Shyamalan.
I wish more movies were in that vein these days. There's not a whole lot of those. It's like a lot of found footage horror. Things jumping out at you. Anyway, Split turns out to be a whole different type of a movie like The Sixth Sense does. I would recommend that.
I think it's on HBO Go right now.
And so that was him having a comeback. So he's actually back.
Yeah, he's going to make a sequel to Split.
Well, and
Unbreakable,
which is the surprise.
Yeah.
But watching it for the first time, you don't know that. You just know it's this horror movie. Anyway,
and it was probably good that he went back to horror movies.
Yeah, he's a good horror director.
Yeah.
That movie's pretty tough to watch, actually, because James McAvoy's excellent in it, and he's got personalities that are trying to help the girls, but then personalities that are really mean, and personalities that are like telling on the nice personalities to the mean ones, and he'll switch within a scene between them.
Oh, wow.
And so the girls don't know if they're actually in danger or not from it's pretty good because he's such a good actor, I think, is why it works really well. But it's also very minimalist. It takes place mostly within the confines of one building, so it's cheap. And Sixth Sense couldn't have cost that much money to make either.
No. Yeah, it was. I mean, he shot it. He's from Philadelphia, born and raised. South Philadelphia, born and raised. I believe
on the playground is where he spent most of his days.
M. Night Shyamalan did. Yeah. Exactly. And that's where he shot it there because that's his hometown.
Philly is a lot of his movies. I think Split and Unbreakable.
Yeah, Unbreakable does.
A lot of them are in Philadelphia.
The Village. Spoiler. But yeah. He kind of and The Last Airbender, that was a big. And that was finally that was one he didn't write it. Yeah. So
he did write Stuart Little.
Oh, did he?
But didn't direct it.
Sure.
Next year, from the writer of Sixth Sense comes Michael J. Fox in Stuart Little.
Yeah. Anything else on The Sixth Sense, Eric?
I felt like there was kind of an underlying theme of self-acceptance or something with all of the characters in The Sixth Sense. Something that maybe a deeper meaning that.
Well, yeah, I can see that. Because Bruce Willis doesn't. You kind of get the sense that he has to know he's dead. Right?
Yeah, right.
But he doesn't want to accept it.
Right, that's what they say. They say they don't... Yeah, exactly. They see what they want to see.
Right. Right. Yeah, they don't see each other.
Which is a metaphor for life people, too.
Absolutely.
They also see what they want to see and don't
the audience,
see each other.
The audience sees what they want to see when they're watching. That's what I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
you watch it the second time, you're like, oh my God, it's so obvious. I see it now.
Yeah.
But when you see it the first time... You're seeing what you want to see. You don't see that.
Yeah.
Well, and Cole has to decide that it's okay. It's actually a gift he has.
Exactly. He has to accept that. The mom has to, she has to kind of, it's the acceptance of, I'm doing okay, and I'm a good parent, and my mom was proud of me. And right.
And
the wife has to accept the husband's dead. Exactly. Everybody has to, it's interesting that everybody has that same...
Yeah, and so do the ghosts have to do something and accept something,
and then they can move on. Right.
Look, it's a good movie, but I guess I was kind of looking for things. And the scene where, the whole Olivia Williams and the new boyfriend, it's kind of so we never really get a time frame of how long. The next fall.
Right.
I guess, did he get shot in winter because it was cold? And so this is maybe 9 months after he's been dead. She doesn't need to be rebounding just...
But she's not rebounding necessarily.
Right.
She's feeling feelings for the guy, but then shutting him down over
right.
She's watching her wedding video on repeat.
Every night.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah. Poor gal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big clue because why would she be doing that if she were super mad at him?
Right. Yeah.
And also she's on Zoloft! Exclamation point!
Exactly,
Exclamation
Oh,
point!
yeah.
Yeah, she takes a couple Zolofts, hops in
And
the
notice that
shower.
the print was in red.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
and it says
yeah.
antidepressant
Yes.
in in big bold letters.
Also,
I can't deal with this.
his reaction-
I'm going downstairs.
Exactly. Like,
He's
good
like-
luck with that.
He's a psychologist, and he's like, ugh.
I'll be in the basement listening for ghosts.
I get the deal is that they're trying to say it like a shorthand for like she's really troubled, but like, come on.
Right.
Everybody's on Zoloft.
Yeah. I mean, you're not cool if you're not on Zoloft.
I'm here to tell you there's a lot of people on Zoloft.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the red. We've mentioned a
Yeah,
couple times
because
the
it's
red.
become so obvious.
Right.
It was like, yeah, everybody came out of that theater and was like, did you notice all the red? It's like, oh.
I didn't notice until like the second time I watched it.
Right.
Or third time, maybe. Because somebody had pointed it out. I never quite understand what the red door handle to the basement.
I mean, that's what he touches. That's what he's always touching to
It's
get
just
into
a
the
clue,
basement.
that things aren't right. That's like it's a clue of, hey, he's dead.
Yeah.
You know,
He
like
can't get in there.
Yeah.
But then later on, is it like
it's because there's a table.
there's something in the
Yeah.
way?
Right,
Right.
because she'd moved the table there to just, which is, by the way, you're going to just shut off your entire basement. I don't
Yeah,
think that's
right.
kind of weird, but
Yeah, where's she getting all that white wine from?
right.
Well, you don't put
But
white wine in the basement.
He's also you can.
Yeah, I guess.
He also is in the basement many times in the film.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
Later-
he can
Because
walk.
he go, he's just,
He
yeah.
just goes where he needs to go. He's a ghost, Eric.
It's in the name.
That's
Ghost.
right.
You go where you want.
Right. This was originally called Ghost Dad, but they realized that was already a movie.
Exactly, starring Bill Cosby.
I am glad that they cut out the pottery scene where they,
Yeah, that was a little.
Was it
like a little
with Bruce Willis and Haley Joel Osment? That got at the NC-17, so then they had to cut
they
that.
had to remove it.
But they left in all the Everly Brothers song. I mean, the
Righteous
Brothers.
They're
songs.
righteous.
No good. Bye bye love. That
That's
would
right.
have been
No, that's
perfect.
Everly Brothers.
Bye bye sweet caress.
Starts playing when he says
That was going to be the very end of the movie, as
Exactly.
he was going to spin around and start playing the Everly Brothers, and like there was
He
going to
has
be a
a
huge
guitar.
dance number. That kid from the cough syrup commercial was going to come out dancing.
and I got cut for time.
One of the things I thought was really surprising was that Toni Collette was 26 when she filmed this movie.
Right, hot off of Muriel's wedding.
Very young.
Yeah, she broke up. Like Muriel's wedding, I think, was her big hit, and she was pretty young in that.
Well, and then she was nominated for an Oscar for this.
Yeah, and
She was great.
Yeah.
She was trying out for Bringing Out the Dead, the Scorsese movie,
Oh yeah.
and then she just
I like
happened
to think of it as a Nicolas Cage movie.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Let's go.
All right. So then she just was in the right place at the right time to try out for this
Like that
too.
Dr.
So out on a
John
whim.
song.
Yeah,
Sorry.
scary. Just like that Dr. John song.
I think that's the wrong place at the wrong time, right?
So everybody needs to do themselves a nice favor, and they need to go on IMDb, and they need to click on The Sixth Sense and see what the picture of Haley Joel Osment looks like on IMDb, because that is enjoyable. I'm going to show you now.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, you know what? He's actually a pretty good guy. You know, he's been on Comedy Bang Bang. I think
He's
was
a
on
Smodcast guy, right?
WTF.
Isn't he a part of the Kevin Smithiverse?
Maybe, I don't know. I think I heard him on WTF. Maybe not, but he seems like he's got his head on straight for being a
He's a
child
laid
actor.
back
Yeah.
dude. He's
Yeah.
got a giant beard, is what I was showing, and he's in that movie Tusk, where what's his name gets turned into a walrus.
Okay.
Cuckoo chew.
Oh, there you go. I love the Beatles.
John Lennon gets
Exactly.
turned into a walrus. No, you know the Kevin Smith movie where
Yeah, I know Tusk is Kevin Smith, and is it?
he's the guy that was the Mac as
right,
opposed to John
right.
Hodgman's.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
IBM. What's that?
He's-
Oh,
See.
what is his name?
he's also in Idiocracy. He's great as the Doctor, and
Justin Long.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly it.
He's one of my least favorite actors, I would say. And it's just, you know how there's some people that just kind of get under your skin.
He's in the middle for me. I don't mind.
Yeah, he's fine. I enjoyed him on Ed.
Oh, I did like him on Ed.
Well,
I liked Michael Ian Black on Ed.
Yeah.
That was a good use of him.
Right.
I also like the Foo Fighters song on that.
Which they had to use it. They used it first, and they didn't use it. Then Dave Grohl stepped in and said, "No, they can use it." Because the music and like the record publisher was like, "You owe us so much money for this song now," and they're like, "Well, we're not going to pay that." I think Dave Grohl did step in, but it was like, "No, they can use it." So,
Oh, that's a great showbiz anecdote, Gary.
hey, you come for the anecdotes, stay for
Peek
the
behind the curtain. How do
Yeah.
you know this stuff?
internet. The internet.
One thing that I learned from the IMDb trivia also was that The Sixth Sense is one of the only horror movies to be nominated for Best Picture.
Oh, wow.
I know where he's going with this.
yeah,
he's going to
yeah,
go with
yeah,
the
yeah,
Silence
yeah,
of the
yeah.
Just
Lambs.
like the other one is The Silence of the Lambs, and it's the only one that won.
Yeah.
The Exorcist
The
was
thriller.
also nominated. They considered Jaws a horror movie in this, and then
But then they consider The Silence of the Lambs a horror movie also.
and Get Out was also nominated for Best Picture.
yeah.
But the only horror movie to win Best Picture was The Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah,
I always back in those days when there was
He's just laying ground to it.
yeah, well, yeah.
back in those days whenever being nominated for Best Picture meant something when there were only 5 nominees. I always remember that there were sort of the 4 what I would consider real nominees.
Yeah.
The ones that were real critical darlings and popular and all this stuff and sort of prestigious and stuff. And then they sneak in the 5th one, which was like
The Fifth Element.
which was usually like well liked by audiences, but not quite as esteemed by critics and not quite as prestigious a type of movie.
The People's Choice Award.
Yeah, and that would always like that's The Field of Dreams was nominated for Best Picture. The
Schindler's
Shawshank
List.
Redemption. The Ghost was nominated for Best Picture. But there's that. I think The Sixth Sense fit into that. Like it was never gonna win Best Picture, but it was one of the 5.
Yeah, and I think it is fine to be nominated.
I think it would have been fine to win.
Yeah, it would be an honor just to win.
It was rented 80 million times on VHS.
Wow.
So people liked it.
Yeah. Lauren, anything else with Sixth Sense?
It's great.
All right. It's great.
It's really good. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
I was surprised how much I liked it. Again, just
How long had it been since you last seen it?
it'd been a while.
It'd been a while?
I've bits and pieces in a bar.
Yeah.
But
Oh, sure.
but
Oh,
where
and they had motion smoothing on, so
Yeah,
it was really
yeah,
hard
yeah.
to look at.
I just threw up all over our equipment.
but it's been a long time since I've sat and just watched
It's
that
been a
whole
long time.
thing.
Oh, wait, it didn't work.
That was Led Zeppelin. I think.
Yeah, that's right. It's
Been a long time, been a long time since I watched The Sixth Sense all the way through. Yeah.
Yeah.
It holds up.
It does.
It holds up, and I think it will hold up. I don't think there's anything that's
Yeah.
going to date this
You
movie.
should go watch it.
The only thing that dated the movie was the scene where the school play starts and everybody brings out their giant.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, look how old
Which
that
was
is.
a nice joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that happens in the movie where anybody has a cell phone.
No.
Not even flip phone or a Zach Morris phone or
Oh,
anything.
right. I was
Nothing.
thinking, so now Haley Joel Osment has to go and right all these wrongs for all these ghosts or, kind of help ghosts.
Right.
And so he's probably got a nice to-do list.
Oh, on his iPhone?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he could set up a Facebook page where he's like, do you have any ghosts that need some help?
Check
That's
in
right.
here.
He could be like Michael
could have
J.
been in
Fox
that-
from The Frighteners.
Or he could have been in that Ghostbusters reboot.
I haven't seen that one, so.
Well, it just has to do with ghosts.
But I haven't seen the reboot.
But it's got, it's like a woman version of the original.
What? I haven't seen it.
It's got Thor in there.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Thor Strongstrom?
What?
I was trying to think of a Swedish name.
Oh, like a guy named Thor?
Yeah.
So I would give this movie 4 stars.
Yeah. Lauren?
100%, yes.
Yeah, I was going between 3.5 and 4, but I think I will give it 4.
Yeah, I mean,
is it...
minor quibbles aside,
Yeah.
it's nearly perfect.
Right. I agree.
And it's got a lot of different things to enjoy. Lots of different bits.
Yeah, watch it. So if it's the first time you see it,
Sorry.
go back and don't listen to this podcast.
Yeah, we maybe should have said that earlier.
They shouldn't have watched it. Listened anyway.
Yeah, if miraculously you are the 5 people in this country who...
Well, the thing is, my kids, they don't even really know who Bruce Willis is.
Mm-hmm.
What?
They had never heard the I See Dead People, so they got to watch it all the way to, like, whenever he said, I'm ready to tell you my secret now, it was a big reveal for them.
Yeah, okay.
Because they were asking me, like, does he really? And, like, at that point.
Yeah.
And
I was like, yeah, wait for the next scene, kiddos.
Yeah.
Buckle your seatbelts.
That's right.
There's a couple of gory things where I was like, whoops, bad parenting.
Yeah. 101.
It was pretty cute. They, the 2 older ones slept in the same bed that night, taking care of each other.
Oh.
Totes adorbs.
I think
All
I
right.
didn't remember that he had I didn't remember that he had all of the different Catholic
Yeah.
idols inside.
He had his
all
own
the
little sanctuary,
Marys.
right? Well, and they even say, like, when he goes to the church, and he's like, people used to come here for sanctuary, Like, he explains why he has that set up in his room. Like, all of it is very...
And the Latin. Mm-hmm. That's really good, too, where he has to go
Latin's
look it
a
up.
dead language. Right, makes sense.
No, it isn't.
Oh,
Olivia Williams loves
That's
it.
right.
This one's for Edward
I
Appleby.
saved Latin for you.
What did you do?
Yeah, that's right. I saved Latin for her. What did you ever do? Oh, Rushmore's a good movie.
Yes. Yes, it is. A really different kind of movie.
Right.
Can I just ask one more thing?
Yeah.
I think the thing that's really confusing about the cough syrup kid is that the joke is that Tommy Tomasino is the most annoying kind of child, a child actor. Mm-hmm. When this is one of the best child actor performances of all time within the same movie. I feel like if I'd be making this movie, I'd be like, well, maybe I shouldn't be slagging off child actors in this movie with this great child actor performance. It's just strange.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, I feel like he just kind of represents that, that kid that seems like he's completely perfect and everything is together,
And he's a fake bully.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like poor Cole doesn't need to be bullied on top of everything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but kids are cruel. Cruel to be kind. I don't know.
Who's that?
I don't know.
that?
Is that Nick Cave? No, Nick Cave? Or
I don't think it's Nick Cave.
Right, not Nick Cave.
So are we on social media at all, Gary?
Yeah, My So-Called Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, right? Follow us, get our website, go to our website, listen to podcasts.
Yeah, what you want to do is you want to go to Facebook and find My So-Called Podcast, and the one that's Angela Chase related, you're going to look for the other one.
That's right.
You want to plug anything, Lauren?
Yeah.
I'll plug the Spot Media Production Group.
Okay.
Information, our Instagram, Facebook. I think we do Twitter also. I'm not in charge of our social media.
Sure.
Clearly. Nobody's in charge of our social media. Gary barely wants to mention it.
That's right.
But no, you run the Twitter, I run the Facebook. We do what we can.
I've gotten solely to just tweeting about there's a new episode.
Yeah, and then sometimes like 2 hours later you'll tweet, there's still a new episode.
No, so that's even so. Don't. I'll talk to you after.
No, this is some great inside baseball.
Exactly.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us, Lauren. It was fun.
Yeah,
My
thank you.
pleasure. Thank you.
Our thanks to Don Spiegel for writing the theme music and performing it. And we will see you in 2 weeks in the 90s.
I like that music a lot.
Yeah.